Hi, Kevin here. Welcome to today's episode of the Claremont Classic Garage. We finally made it to the Victoria Day long weekend. It's Saturday. It's a spectacular, beautiful Saturday afternoon here at the farm. And I've finally been able to get outside. Managed this morning to get the grass cut. Spent a couple of quality hours on my Ferris lawnmower. Anyway, the little project we've got going today is not something that I'm going to get done all at once. I'm just going to pick away at it when I've got an hour here and an hour there. So let me show you what I'm up to. So you may remember a few weeks ago I introduced you to my old Frankenduster. Now Frankenduster is a kind of a hurting unit. It's alright, it's good and solid for now, but it really could use a set of front rails in it. So this thing came along. This has been around here for quite a while. It's a 1975 Plymouth Valiant Brougham that I got. I actually got two cars from an estate, this and a 74 Valiant. So I got looking at this, and the car's from Western Canada. It's really clean, the shell. So I said to myself, hey, this is a good place to get some front rails for Frankenduster. Now, you will notice that because this car had the shock bumpers from the factory and not the old school bumpers, I will have to modify it. The front rails right there, put the two captive nuts in for my bumper. But it'll be worth it. This is an economy way of doing it for sure. Also, Frankenduster is got a hurting floor pan. This one here, it's really nice. There's no holes in it at all. Now it is from a 4-door. It's got the little, you can see the 3-inch little extension piece in here that makes up the difference in the wheelbase from 108, which a Duster is, to 111 that these cars are. But you know what? I can work with that. We'll make this work. It's a 1975. So it's got the hump here in the floor for the catalytic converter. But again, I'll scrounge up the correct seat track. The other 3 seat tracks are the same. And then I'll have to use the 4-speed hump from my old floor and graft that into this floor. So this will be a great thing for Frankenduster. Now, the rear rails in this car are also really nice. I'll be saving them and hopefully pass them along to another Mopar enthusiast that could use them. You can't see in here, but the trunk floor does have a couple little patches in it from the back window leaking, but the spare tire well is really nice. I'll be pulling that out and keeping that because I think the one in Frankenduster, well, it's still okay. It's the original one. Changing it would probably be a good idea. So I've got my handy dandy 20-volt Mastercraft Sawzall here. So we'll just kind of pick away at this, and once I've emptied 2 batteries, that'll be enough for that day, and then I'll go do something else. So far today I've cut the one doorpost out. I'm going to cut the other doorpost out, then I'll take the roof off of it, and then I'll take the quarter panels off, and then we'll be kind of down to the nitty-gritty, and I can start drilling spot welds and get the floor pan out. Even the rockers aren't too bad. Well, that one's got a little bit of a bulge in it there, but I'll check the rockers when I get to it. Unfortunately, I mean, they might have to be the sacrificial lamb in order to expedite this process. But anyway, even the firewall isn't too bad in it. I have to compare that to I've got another project that's currently an air-conditioned car that's going to become a not air-conditioned car. So I may save that firewall just in case. Anyway, let's get on with the chopping. So far we've gotten both door posts out and the roof almost cut in half before my second battery died. Anyway, so while I'm waiting for the batteries to charge up, I started picking away at the front. It had some kind of little patch panels put on here that somebody had made up and put on. So I actually managed to get them off. They were just held on with self-drilling screws. So I'm going to see if anybody local wants these. They can have them for free, you know, to keep a kind of a driver car going on the road that's got a little rust issue up here on the aprons. Anyway, the trim tags are still on it. Matches the VIN on the core support. So that's all right. So as this comes apart, I'll leave the cowl attached to the front rails, and because I'm not sure until I get into Frankenduster how much of this I'm going to need. And you sure don't want to need something that you threw out. That sucks. Somebody's already been cutting in the back here. This panel was already donated, I think, to save a 68 or 69 Swinger. I don't know if the 4-door one is the same or not, but the guy thought it might be, so he cut it out and took it. You know, so that's where we're at. We'll just keep picking away at this, and next thing you know, it will have totally disappeared. Well, there's not too much left of it now. There's one pile. I already took the roof and the door posts and the windshield posts and put them in the scrap bin. I'll get rid of that crap tomorrow. And we'll carry on. Now, I left this thing sitting out here for about 4 years and it was full of leaves. Look at my nice floor plan now. It's all punky. It's got holes in it. That's no good. So anyway, we'll come up with a plan. I have to pull the interior out of Frankenduster and see how bad it is. Whether it justifies a complete one-piece pan, or if I can get away just buying the front ones. I can't remember. I know there's some issues with the floor in it, but it was patched up a long time ago the old way, you know, with just flat sheet metal, the way we used to do it before all this reproduction stuff was available. So anyway, I'll go at this a little bit more tomorrow. I still want to get this floor pan out in one piece. I may be able to just buy a left front floor pan to fix up this. We'll see. It's all up in the air right now. Anyway, I guess we'll see you next time. I probably won't get back to this for a little while. But, you know, in the meantime, I'll keep you posted. Thanks. See you later. So after checking things out and seeing what I'm going to have to do to use this 111-inch wheelbase floor pan in my 108-inch wheelbase Duster, you know what? It's just not worth the aggravation when I can buy a one-piece stamped floor pan that'll just go in it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to saw it right here because I need a front clip for the car still. I'm going to saw it back here. The rear rails are good. Somebody else can use those. And this middle piece here, I'll just take the bucket seat brackets off of it and throw her in the bin. Anyway, see you in a bit. Alright, so that's that. Now you may have noticed I gave up with the battery sawzall and went to the corded one. Makes the job go a lot faster. So basically, this piece here I'm going to put away. I'll strip the aprons and the rad support and everything off it, and this bit of floor pan when I'm ready to do the job on my car later. What I have to do now is I have to get these pieces off. I need the front end of this panel. This panel actually comes down to here and it forms the rear cross member of the floor pan. Mine is just right at the front of it is a little bit punky, and rather than spending hundreds of dollars for the entire pan that goes from here all the way back to here, I'm just going to cut a little patch because all I need is from here forward, and I'll put that in my car when it's time to do the job. So now the fun begins. Start drilling spot welds. So that went pretty well. We got the back of the old floor pan off. This panel here hasn't seen the light of day since it was put there in 1975. And it's actually still pretty good. My Duster, it's all holes across here. And I'm pretty sure that's how the mouse gets into it. So now we can carry on and get the end of the floor pan off the other side. Then we'll slice this across back there, up around the bottom of the kick up somewhere. And then we'll drill the remaining spot welds and pull this pan out. That's awesome. So, all the old remnants of floor are removed. The panel is looking great. I'm very happy with that. Not too often I would find one of these on a Canadian car. So the next step, I'll drill the spot welds up the frame rails and up the rockers, and then cut it across, and I'll get my little panel that I need for my Duster. And that will be perfect. Oh, I'm so happy. So I got what I needed from this, and it's just starting to sprinkle a little bit. So it's perfect timing. So I can put that away for when we do the floor pan in Frankenduster. When the weather gets better, I'll come out, I'll finish stripping the rest of this sheet metal off of these rails and get the springs and the axle out of it. Then I can sell the rails. I did hear of a local guy that recently bought a 67 Barracuda out of a garage where it had been sitting for a very long time, and it was parked because a rear rail is out of it. So hey, you never know, maybe these rails might end up in a 67 Barracuda. That'd be cool. I'd just be happy if someone uses them, that's all. Anyway, I'll see you when I get back out here. Bloody mice, they never miss a trick, eh? There we have it, all cleaned up, ready to go on in life and help somebody save their old car. A nice set of A-body rear rails. I can't believe I managed to save them from that car, because the car was pretty rotten. But these rails are nice. Very good. So, last things I have to do with this before I list it for sale is I'm going to remove the axle and the springs. It's just a 7 1/4, but this is what we run, a big bolt pattern 7 1/4 in Project Mordor, which you haven't met yet. I'll also grab the springs and put them in the shed. You never know when you'll need something like this hanger or a shackle. Plus, these springs were holding up a big 111-inch wheelbase 4-door car with the shock bumpers and everything. It was a heavy car by A-body standards, so it sat up nicely too. So without doing much, you could throw these in a little Duster and get the back of it back up in the air. It's like a free spring job. So I'll be back when we've got that done. Another thing to be aware of when you're messing around with this stuff, anytime you've got the springs out, especially if it's a crusty old salt belt car like this one, the center bolt in these springs rots away, and it gets like into an hourglass shape, and eventually it rots away enough that it can't take it anymore, and it pops. You can see how much these things are squished together. Look in behind and in front of it, the space between the springs, yet in the center where the bolt is, it's crunched right down. There's a lot of tension on that bolt, and when it lets go, the spring leaves will go 10 or 15 feet in the air and take your face with it if it happens to be in the way, and land on whatever they happen to land on when they come back down. It's happened to me, so just be aware of that. So that's what's left of it. Before it goes to the big pile in the sky, I'll go through it and strip off. There's still a lot of good bits in here. Stuff like these seatbelt brackets. I see a few rubber floor plugs. I got to get the bucket seat brackets off the floor pan for my car. Little stuff like that. As it gets fired into the bin, I'll clean up that stuff. As for the front clip, I'm not going to do any cutting on this until I get around to actually doing the job on Frankenduster, because, you know, I don't want to cut something off and throw it away and then figure I need it later or whatever. I also have to, once I get doing that job, I have to decide if I'm going to put the rails in with the torsion cross member or leave mine in, because mine It's never spun the sockets, and I actually reinforced it all. I made some nice plates that go around it. So that'd be a way to recoup a few bucks, quite honestly. I'll just put the actual rails in mine and sell off the torsion cross member. Keep another one of these classics on the road. I'm sure somebody needs it. Anyway, I'm going to go get the tractor, put this on a skid, and go put it away somewhere until such time that I need it. And that'll be quite an episode of Claremont Classic Garage when we cut Frankenduster in half. Unbelievable. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Nothing more fun than coming out on a nice sunny day and cutting up a car with a Sawzall. You can go right ahead. Down below there, we got a subscribe button. We got a like button. We got a don't like button. We got a comment box. You can share. Do whatever you want. I'm quite happy to see this all over the place. Not because it makes me feel important, but just it's interesting stuff, man. So thanks again for watching the Claremont Classic Garage, and check us out next time. Bye bye.